You're on mute.
Everything's all haywire a little bit. But welcome to Liverpool 12th Man Show. I'm Liverpool 12th Man, and we are going to be going into a little bit of a preview for the PSG matchup, the last matchup before we go into our cup final, and then it'll be on to international. It'll be an international break for us, so we will be talking a little bit about what's going on with that, and also a little bit of what's on your mind with whatever, maybe some of the things you might be heard online, or some of the things you're discussing in your group chats or whatever it is. We're going to be having on this show a great panel, of course. It begins with the Irishman, and it begins also with Nalante. So I'm going to bring them into the conversation right now from the gate. How you doing, Brian?
Yeah, very well. Very well.
Okay,
Good to be here.
And Nalante, how are you doing?
Yeah, been better, but yeah, I mean, the team's doing well, so let's get ready for a fun field show.
There you go. Optimism is always good. So, so welcome back to everyone out there, all the fellow Reds out there that support each other and appreciate it very much. So, big up Red Armchair Supporter, Bernie, big up to Realism Jared, and any else that follow us later on the replay, or even if you end up watching this show live with us, definitely looking forward to your contributions in conversation. So, we're going to do a deep dive into this is a huge game. Despite it being 1-0 in aggregate, it is still a huge game for us because we've all seen what we are facing, which is a very, very comparable and formidable team in PSG. We know that we hold this 1-0 lead because of the heroics of Mr. Nunez and the great finish of Harvey Elliott. And those late heroics in Paris gave us a little bit something to at least have some higher optimism going into this game despite our play. So PSG will certainly be throwing everything at us to turn their result around, obviously. And the big question is, can Arne Slot's men hold their nerve, basically? We're going to break it all down. And I wanted to get into some key stats with you guys. And that's obviously, the thing that I like to do is always drop a little stats here and there. Liverpool's record after winning the first leg away is pretty impeccable. We've done it 39 times in European competitions and then progressed in every single one. PSG, on the other hand, have lost on their 2 previous visits to Anfield, and the Reds have kept 9 clean sheets in 16 home games against French clubs. Also, I didn't know if you knew this or not, but if Slot wins this game, he'll become the first manager to win his first 5 home Champions League matches in charge of an English side. It's a pretty wild accomplishment, to be honest with you. So Arne Slot's going for history. It's something that we certainly need for him to do. I mean, there's no other way for us to progress in this Champions League competition, and that is we have to win, or at least get a draw. Actually, I should say we could get a draw and still progress. But all the same, I'm going to ask you this, and this is important because I know Norm's not here tonight, or might not be with us at the moment, but I'm sure he'll probably be at this matchup come tomorrow. But how important do you think Anfield's atmosphere will be in tomorrow? How important do you think it'll be the deciding factor in this tie? I'm going to ask that to Nalante first, and then I'll bring in Brian for his answer.
Yes, simple, easy question. Yes, yeah. Anfield's got to do what he's got to do. We might have to suffer at some points tomorrow, because PSV will have some chances, and that's it. And and they've been doing their job, to be fair. I mean, once or twice, but when Anfield is on form, I mean, I know it's a biased opinion. I don't think there's any ground in the world like Anfield when it's on fire. So
Mhm.
they will be there. See, I don't think it'll be at Anfield the crowd issue, it'll be the players issue. It's down to the players for me. The crowd will be up for this and support the boys.
Okay. Same question, Brian. You think that
Yeah,
could be the deciding factor in this game, or do you have maybe, or you don't think it's that imperative or impactful?
well, no, I wouldn't. Of course, it's impactful, but whether it be the deciding factor, I hope not. If you know what I mean. I hope we're able to go ahead and do it anyway. But it happens automatically there, really. The Wednesday night, Tuesday night games always been a bit special. So they'll do their thing, and the crowd feeds off the team, and the team feeds off the crowd. It kind of works in tandem. You know, if they can get behind them for so long, but yeah, they always help. You know, especially with uh, if we get the way we like to play it, playing into the cop second half, and you know goes our way. But yeah, it'll be. I don't think they'll be overly intimidated by it, but no, the boys will know that everyone's there. It has been
Well,
better this year. I
you know
think
what?
it's been better this year than
Yeah,
last two maybe.
that's the reason I was
Very much,
asking. Oh, sorry.
yeah. No, just very much. Even just watching on TV, you know, you can hear on TV. It's louder this year than it was last year, more often. So there's been a re-energization of the crowd. I think so.
But that's the reason why I'm more so. I understand that obviously we want the crowd to be behind us, but why I was asking about this in particular game, being it's a Champions League game, so often, as opposed to the Premier League. Of course, there's Premier League has some of the similar settings, but Champions League even more so. You get sometimes a little bit more corporate presence at these games, you know, and sometimes they don't like necessarily know all the songs, or they don't necessarily like, you know, find their way back to their seats, you know, after halftime, you know, and you'll see like all of the empty seats or something like that. You know that there are probably people still like, you know, partaking in a couple beverages or something in the hospitality lounge. But that's why I was asking that question primarily, is that, you know, we all know that there's a corporate emphasis that comes with Champions League nowadays, more so than before, and that's why I was asking if you thought it would be a bigger thing, and that's what Bonkers is saying too, or excuse me, Alexander is saying. You know, there's been times when, like, I remember, and this is for Europa, by the way, too, when Toulouse, because they're purple, I believe they're purple. They have purple in their kits or something like that. But anyway, when Toulouse came, at times like their supporters were seemingly louder than even Anfield supporters. You know, and even when they were getting their, you know, their butts handed to them, in the sense of they're getting, you know, we're romping on them, they were still loud. They were still involved. Still, you know, they were just enjoying the moment and everything else. But that's why I was asking that emphasis. Sometimes, like, there's been a couple of accusations that sometimes Anfield has sounded more like a library than the Anfield of old. That's why I was asking that question.
Yeah, it's like I say, to me, I think maybe the Europa League, we are a bit snobby sometimes, and in terms of what the crowd really gets up for. And those, yeah, it is always really annoying when it's it takes the away end to start pumping out the songs to make our guys react. That really annoys me when it's like, you know, we have to sing louder than them. They shouldn't. The corporate stuff, even the kind of the tourism stuff, the average Joe as well. They don't sing like they used to, but you know, being top of the league, and doing well will always help with the atmosphere. You can't really help that. Can't deny that. I mean.
Okay. That's what you get with increasing ticket prices. That's what MK Toe said. Yep, that's very true. Very true. It's not cheap to go to these games, especially the Champions League game. Sometimes their nerve goes and the crowd gets engrossed in the game. Very true. Very true. That's what Bernie's saying. MK Toe said the comment before that. Crowd needs to be up for it. Up for this, not quiet. This bonkers. Europe nights at Anfield are always on fire. Bernie's telling us. Alexander said, "Yeah, we can't have the away end be louder than us." It's going to be something like it's going to be European nights and in under the lights, especially, does create a completely, energetic and amazing, absolutely amazing atmosphere. But that was the question. We have to be up for it. The crowd has to be up for it. And if anything, we definitely have to spur these guys on to great heights. But that's the reason I was asking the major question. But I'll ask this question now. We have Lee in the house too. Lee, how are you, by the way?
Good. Excellent. Up for the fight tomorrow night. The fight to get through to the quarterfinals. Yeah, I'm up for it.
Okay.
Cup duty now. On Cup duty, aren't we? No more league for a while. Put the league away for a while in our heads, if we can.
Yeah.
I was saying it's a bit lonely at the top of the league, isn't it? Like, I can see all the other clubs dutifully going about their business below us, but I feel a growing sense of separation from them. Like Sting said in Message in a Bottle, more loneliness than any man could bear. Rescue me before I fall into despair. It is. It gets lonely at the top, doesn't it? It does get really bloody lonely.
It does. It does. Definitely does. Well, do you think then PSG has had some past struggles at Anfield, obviously, but do you think they have what it takes to break that streak? Do you think that they could get a result here at Anfield, or do you think it's an impossibility?
No, they can definitely get a result from what we saw over there. If the right things happen at the right time, we could easily be going out. I think a lot of people appreciate this, our fans and rival fans. Everyone knows they're a good side. We saw they were a good side. We saw just how good a side they were. So, yeah, that can definitely still happen. We've got to stop it happening. It's up to us, isn't it, really? It's up to us to stop them. Sort of thing. Stop them stopping us.
Okay. Nolante, how about yourself? Do you think that they have what it takes?
I was just going to ask, good evening to you, Lee. As you up for the fight, is Tracy up for the fight also?
Oh, yeah. She's a bit of a tomboy. She's always having rough and tumble with Phil and Gary. Like, she can look after herself, mate. She's given me a black eye or two. I'll tell you that. When I've said unkind things about the Neville family, been given the odd shiner, haven't I? Actually, lost once as well. I lost a couple of teeth once. I haven't felt well since I was in school.
Favorably, but you're all good now. That's the main thing that happens. Big up Cedric also in the chat. You're right, Lee. You come through the walls, you come through the valleys, Lee. That's what we all appreciate you. You know what, Tom? To be fair, I actually watched the highlights. Again, it's not the full game of PSV's game. You know, I like to dibble down world football, and PSG did what they need to do again. But again, they rested about 7 or 8. Was it 7 or 8? I think it's 7. Yeah, 7 of the first team that played last week. Which again, I think we all know they can do that. They can do that. So I'm a bit nervous. I'm very nervous. I'm a bit worried. I'm worried about us because we've just been a little bit lackluster of late. So I'm worried about us more importantly. And PSG can easily beat us. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say we're going to win this. I'm a bit worried. And I'm a bit worried about how we start. That's the key. Okay. That's the key because the railway speeds, and obviously we know it's easy. So and as the manager said in the place, they've got nothing to lose. They're determined. And again, if we don't turn up, if we play like we've been playing a bit, then we'll be knocked out. We'll know rest assured. So it's they again. I know I'm just going on a bit, but yeah, they can do it. Yeah, they definitely can.
Okay. Alexander's saying, yeah, they can play Levante and win that league. Let's be real. Okay. I think he means French league, obviously, I believe.
Oh
If we're
yeah,
not on it, we're losing. Trudon is saying. PSG players still came on as subs, so some weren't rested. Oh, okay. I think sometimes, even though they technically, even when you do play a game, even if you, let's say you play 60 minutes, that's one thing. But sometimes they'll put subs on just to get a run in, and then they'll also, even like for instance, in that PSG game, for instance, at the end of the game, Harvey Elliott was out like doing, calisthenics and doing runs and stuff like that, getting in like an active workout on the pitch, even though he had just played the game. And even albeit it was only for a few minutes, but all the same, he was out there with other team members, doing we call them suicides, but doing like basically doing runs. I don't know if you know, suicides are crazy, especially when you do them for football perceptors. It's like where you run from like the touch line, you run from the touch line to the 18-yard line, then you run from back to touch line, then you run to the half line mark, then you run back to the touch line, then you run to the 18-yard line, then you run back to the touch line, then you run all the way to the other touch line, then you got to run all the way back to the touch line. That's pretty extensive, pretty wild runs. Those were not fun when usually you got those when you got in trouble or you did something wrong. Usually in practice, that's what you had to do. But yeah. Big up Philip, by the way. Shuttle runs. Okay. Yeah, I've heard of that too, by the way. Shuttle runs. Big up 12, Brian and Alante. The last thing we need to do is be complacent for PSG's visit to Anfield. Spot on, Phillips.
Yeah. Big up, Philip. Big up.
Yeah. Interval training. That's what they call it. Yep, they do. Big up Red Armchair Supporter. Appreciate that. Yeah, they Bonkers are saying how they still played Dembele. Got 2 minutes or so from got 2 from off the bench. Oh, got 2 goals from off the bench. Yeah, their situation with their league is fortunate that they can pick and choose where and how to properly rotate and maintain their team to be very, very ample in stamina. We still have Alexander says we still have the advantage, and Slot will know what they will offer. Yeah, good luck on that, Rancher Supporter. They're tough enough. Even in basketball, they were tough. I hated those things. They call them 6-4-6s or 6-4-6s too, because you had to do 6 runs, and then you had to do 4. You had to do 6 of them front way, like running forward. Then you had to do 4 of them running backwards. And then you had to do 6 of them running forward again. Those things, man, I hated those things. They were so grueling, so grueling. But anyway, but yeah. Anyways, yeah. Do you think, Brian? Do you think PSG's got a real viable opportunity here for themselves? Do you think that they can really get it going on?
Yeah, if we come out, I mean, they'll have been watching the video of us against Southampton, licking their lips, thinking if if we play like we did in that game in the first half, I just think it's there for them. It's nothing too complicated, really. They have to score. They know that. So there's no trying to get it to, there's no trying to carry a draw and see how it goes. They have to score. So their tactics, I'd imagine, will be pretty straightforward. Lots of high press and come out and attack us and see what we're made of. We didn't handle them at all well in their ground. It's still a football match. It's still a pitch. You know, so they'll be looking at it and they'll be thinking, let's just throw everything at them. First 25 minutes, half an hour. I'm assuming that's what they'll do, and just come at us and use their speed, their intensity, and put us under the cosh. But we can deal with that. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. But they've shown us what they're capable of. So yeah, to be very, very foolish to, like I was saying, there was a couple of commentators kind of saying PSG had missed their chance. Now that it's back to Anfield, and I'm like, nah, man, no way. With a 1-0 lead, we've seen teams throw away 2-0 leads.
Anyone who watched that first game, any of them pundits that watched that first game and then come out after it finished and said it's over, they're having a laugh there, aren't they? Like, nothing's over after watching that first game.
Right.
We're aware of it, PSG aware of it, everyone's aware of it. Like, we've got to play well. If we don't play well, we will go out the competition. If we don't play well, if we start slow, if we have a sluggish performance, we're going to find it hard to get back into it against a side like this.
Well, it is a question of whether our boys will be ready for it. And I think that they will, now that we will have Arne back on the sideline. It won't be him in the stands doing the coaching. And I guess, if anything, like, what we can start to talk about is, let's talk about our star boys or our star men. And that could be most notably Mohamed Salah is rewriting record books every week, it seems like. If not multiple times in a week. He now has 54 goal contributions in 41 games this season. Let me repeat that. He has 54 goal contributions in 41 games this season. But here's a shocker. Salah has never scored against PSG in the Champions League. So the question is, will that change tonight, or tomorrow night, I should say?
That's against the...
Yeah,
he hasn't had that many opportunities, to be fair to Mo, but I wouldn't bet against it.
Yeah.
For me, what I'm hanging most of my hopes on is what Slot said afterwards, because he was not happy at our inability to gain any type of foothold in that away game. So we know he's not happy with how we played, and obviously he must have been making plans ever since the game, in that. A way we can, imprint ourselves on the game at Anfield, because we sure couldn't do anything over there, because we just couldn't get started. Every time we tried, it was just snuffed out.
Right. Well, what I could say is, will tonight or tomorrow night? I see it said tonight. Tomorrow night. Will tomorrow night finally be the night Salah scores against PSG? You think? Do you think he's gonna break that little bit of that milestone for himself and get a goal? And I do have a follow-up question, considering all things considered, because there was something that I saw and heard. I think it was, I wasn't sure. I think it was on This Is, and that's football, and This Is Football I think it's called, the television show, or the show on YouTube. If you can answer that question for me, I'll come up with the exact term for the show. But do you think he can get that, break that goal? Is that one of the goals that he's trying to accomplish tomorrow? Think he can actually accomplish it? Because I don't know why he hasn't. I mean, other than we haven't played them too often in Champions League. It was pretty surprising, considering that we've only played them 3 or 4 times. I think 3 times or 4 times, something like that. I think we've played him 3 times before this, so we played him 4 times, I believe, in total. We played him once in a group stage, and then once in a knockout stage, I believe, maybe. I believe, or something.
I don't think so. What I remember, I don't think so. But we have played them in the European. We played them in the Cup Winners' Cup.
Right.
Played him in 97, 96, 97 season.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, you can check. Yeah, but as you're checking, I think it's just that 89. But yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't think so. Anyway.
But it is kind of surprising to hear that he hasn't scored against them in general, considering he's scored about pretty much against everyone. I guess I could follow. I'll just bring up the follow-up question real quick. Before even answering that first one, there was something of it was the two Robbies actually that brought it up. So I was watching the two Robbies. They have a show, a podcast that they do, and one of the things as they're speaking on, they do like a weekend wrap, follow up and everything else, and on the show they were talking about obviously Mohamed Salah because he got 2 goals in that Southampton game, and in that Southampton game he got 2 penalty goals in particular, and I forget who it was. You'll probably be able to tell me who it was off the top of your heads, but there was apparently some. I don't know if it was Shearer who said it or not, but it was some prolific goal scorer that said that he wasn't the penalty. He didn't like to take penalties, or he tried not to, or didn't take penalties for his team because he preferred his goals to be open goals or something like that. I was just like, okay, and I think that's like interesting perspective. Like any way you can help your team, if you're the best goal scorer on the team, and especially if you're the best penalty taker on the team, then for you to say, you know what, I don't want to take the penalties because that'll cloud or that'll like muddy my goal scoring prowess or accomplishments, that is straight up silliness. But in my point or viewpoint, but in it, both Robbies said that one of the Robbies, it wasn't Robbie Earl, Robbie Musto said basically that he agrees from that perspective. And he was basically, the premise of what he was saying was penalty goals shouldn't count towards your goal record or something along those lines.
Well, that would go for everybody, all the strikers in the list, wouldn't it? They'd all have to have their pens struck. Don't know where that would leave Mo compared to some of the strikers, but it's an interesting thought to throw in there from Robbie Mustoe. Whether that one Mustoe, I'm not sure. Like, but
it's a salty one if you ask me. Because I mean, like realistically, penalty goals are goals in the same, like Cole Palmer scored a bag of goals last year. A good number of them were penalty goals, penalty kicks. A good number of them. I'm not saying all of them, certainly not all, but a good number of them were. But it's still an accomplishment all the same that he, was able to step up and score the penalties. That's not an easy, despite what you think, it's not an easy accomplishment.
He scored a lot of penalties, didn't he? Shearer was a big penhead, wasn't he? Ian Rush wasn't. Ian Rush didn't take penalties for us in the league, like. But Shearer was a big penhead, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I've forgotten some of the other fellas who would have had most still now. Like, how many of them were takers of pens in the league? Like, don't know. Rooney used to take pens, didn't he? Lampard did. Lampard being in that list for a central midfield is good, isn't it? You've got to give it to Frank. I mean, he was a good player. Like, I remember his dad. He was in my sticker album when I was a kid, Frank Lampard Senior. But obviously, he was just called Frank Lampard because there was no Frank Lampard Junior in them days. Frank hadn't been born when I was that little. But I remember his dad for West Ham. Wasn't a bad player either. Not bad him.
Well, what do you think about that, though? What do you think about that? Brian, Nalante, give me your thoughts as well, if you don't mind. Does it take away It just sounds to me like it's a salty way of just trying to diminish Mohamed Salah once again. It's like why and how this is becoming like, a topic that's being more prevalently pushed is like kind of suspect, if you ask me, in the sense of Mohamed Salah is now starting to get closer and closer towards like, these greats, these all-time greats. And now it's like, oh, but he's scoring them on penalty kicks, so his goals don't count as his goals aren't as worthy.
Can I just say that's continued music to my ears to hear them focusing on that now. People in an attempt to do him down once, saying, "Oh, he scores a lot of pens." That is that's a shitty argument in it. Like, not having it. Like, but yeah, I got a laugh out of it anyway. As I say, continued music to my ears to hear them whinging about stuff in this manner, like stat padder, pen taker. General pantomime villain, Mohamed Salah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's people not digging it, is there? People not digging his form and his. You see, with Mo, it's the assists in it. Like, I'm not going to, because we do it all the time, I'm not going to go on a big Mo thing about how good he is, but it's the assists as well as the goals in it. There's not a lot of other strikers in the past that have had so many assists as well. That's what separates them.
Okay, I'm gonna look up and see who that exactly was too, because it was someone different. Well, still, Brian and Latte, what were your thoughts?
It's just nonsense, mate. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. They're having to think up the things to say, and that's all they're coming up with. Yeah, ask Mo what he thinks. Ask Shearer what he thinks.
Mm-hmm.
They'll tell you have to step up, you have to put them away. Pressure, no pressure, 1-0 up, 4-0 up, 1-0 down. Doesn't matter. They're still goals. They're obviously like the thing with Suarez goes out and scores 32 and 35 or 32 and 34 or something. None of them were penalties. That's incredibly impressive.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean that, someone who scores penalties has had a less impressive season. It's just pure nitpicking, really. I wouldn't even give it too much oxygen, especially if it's from one of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Paid.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't exactly world class players in a position to speak on such things. So, if you've got a Shearer coming out and saying, "Look, I would always kind of pick this or pick that, and I'd say this or say that." But you just got two guys that are Robbie Musto, like Robbie Earl. He was bad enough. Robbie Musto, Jesus.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's part of the game. Someone's got to take them.
Mm-hmm.
Someone has to take them. He doesn't ask for them; they get given. Someone's got to take them.
Let me see if I can.
Yeah,
I'm gonna see if I can't pull. I'm trying to pull up the actual comments so you can hear them verbatim. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Nante, do you have a opinion about it then?
I mean, I think Lee and Brian have summed it up perfectly. It is what it is. You know what I mean? We take away the penalty goals. He still has a great record in terms of scoring. So I just think it's just them what players ex-pundits do, just talking for talking. That's up to them. I'm not bothered. I mean, the latest thing I heard today about Mo, he's a number 9 playing on the wing.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it just is what it is, man. Again, when you're at the top, when there's greatness, people always hate. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let me see if I can't find it. It was Andy Cole that made the.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, he didn't take penalties, so that makes sense. Yeah. He didn't take penalties. So it makes sense. He was saying.
He says, just quickly on that, the shout, Rob. I don't know if you saw.
Sorry, who was it who brought up Cole?
Okay, yeah, let me read out the quote for you. I don't know if you saw the Andy Cole, the great Manchester United. Well, in some people's mindsets, the great Manchester United goal scorer joined them this week, joined them that weekend. They had an event, blah, 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 blah. Asked Andy Cole about his record of goals. He's up there, with the very best, but he took no penalties. And he said he didn't want to take penalties because he only sees open goal goals from open play as center forward gold. He says no, no. He says no something. If you have a free kick from 12 yards out on your own, that shouldn't count as a striker's goal. And he was almost saying he is proud of what he does rather than if he had taken the penalty kicks, because if he had taken his at Manchester United, Newcastle, Blackburn, Fulham, I mean, you'd have to add on a bunch of goals. I'm paraphrasing a little bit more now towards the end of this. And then Robbie went on to say he wishes that our Golden Boot award and all our stats and stuff were not penalty goals because it makes a difference. But he says he knows it makes a difference. Yeah, it does, but it isn't that. But isn't that a skill? Like, do you do that? Blah 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 blah. It was just interesting how they're going on about this and that, about the whole. This is the two Robbies speaking as well. And big up to them. They were very cordial when I met them. Two nice guys. They actually they were the reason why I got to ask the question on the NBC broadcast, and also they were they actually went after the game, or after the telecast. They actually took photos with me, so it was really nice of them. I will give them props for that. Yeah. They I was wearing the old school Liverpool kit, that the one with the candy.
Robbie Earl scored against us. I remember that. He was quite, I would say, deadly, but he was potent, getting into the box with headers and volleys as that type of midfielder, Robbie Earl. Musto was a little bit more, I think we're both industrious, put in a lot of work, right? But can't remember Musto scoring that many, but I do remember Robbie Earl being a threat.
Musto was a fullback.
Was he a fullback, was he? I thought he was a midfielder.
Mainly full. He probably played here and there. But this guy's not.
Always.
That's the thing with Ian Rush. Ian Rush didn't take penalties, but he never gets included because it's pre-Premier League days. But he was another one like Andy Cole who didn't take pens. A lot of them other ones who were at the top were pen takers. But Rush and Cole are different.
Well, I just thought, when I heard the comment, I was just kind of like, it's just interesting. As Mohamed Salah gets closer and closer towards some of these records, it seems like it's kind of wild that some of these angles or perceptions get thrown out there. In my perspective, that's all. Andy Cole was a very talented striker, certainly was. But that's Cole speaking, Andy Cole as a striker speaking on the subject, and we're talking about a quote unquote, winger, right winger, if you want to call it that. I know some a little more so say he's an inside forward or right inside forward, but he's definitely, there's no way I would ever call Mohamed Salah a striker. So the fact that he's getting closer and closer to some of these greats on this list, it's almost as if some of these guys are kind of trying to hold on to the greatness of their accomplishments by trying to move the goalpost a little bit. That's in my perspective. Again, maybe I am pining or campaigning a little bit for our Egyptian king to be recognized, but that's my
Didn't Arsenal let Andy Cole go? And that's where he went to Newcastle, because we were talking the other night, weren't we, about how many good players Chelsea have let go, like De Bruyne and Salah. I mean, I can't think of us bringing anyone. De Bruyne and Salah were brought into the country, but Cole was there already at Arsenal and didn't make it into the side. But I mean, that must have killed them when he turned into the forward he did at Newcastle. I mean, they had good forwards at the time, like, but yeah, that's a bit of a faux pas on their part, isn't it? Letting Andy Cole go.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a decisive. They let a lot of play. Chelsea has been a definitely I want to call it like a lily pad for a lot of great players. A lot of great players that have gone on to either greater heights or maybe even gotten stuck on that lily pad and kind of, you know, had troubles getting off of it, getting off of that lily pad to go on and do something great.
Yeah, I can't remember us letting go of someone who went on to be brilliant somewhere else, someone that we just never gave a chance to. I can't remember that. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Maybe we have done that.
Well, speaking on PSG and the challenge and potential and their efforts to make some type of potential comeback in this run, I think the key part and point is we can't get too comfortable in our 1-0 lead. I wouldn't necessarily sit back and try to get, pragmatic and try to do a, more defensive minded mindset that we did last time. I don't know if that was by plan or not, but we definitely, I wouldn't go as far as park the bus, but we certainly were on the back foot quite a bit in that game in Paris. And we all know that PSG has pulled off some comebacks. Most notably, they pulled off a comeback against being 2-0 down, I believe it was, against City, and then pulling out a pretty incredible turn of events for themselves there. But that was in Paris. It wasn't at Manchester. So with PSG having rested players, like I know that they were speaking on how also they got some rest. They played technically, as I think Bonkers was putting it out there, but they did rest Dembele. They did rest Hakimi, Kvaratskhelia. They rested Marquinhos. Marquinhos got a rest on the weekend. So they'll be fresh and ready for this war at Anfield. And let's not forget, obviously, Ali had to make 9 saves to keep them at bay. I'll ask you this. Do you believe our defense is up for the task this weekend or this week, tomorrow, this Tuesday? Do you think that we're at, or are there question marks now starting to be that can be raised about our defense, or even more so about our defense now? I'll ask that to Lee first.
Yeah, it's going to be a big test again, isn't it? For the whole side defensively. I'm not just going to say the defense; it's for the whole team to play well defensively. So I think it's a test we can pass, like. But it is. It's going to be a tough game. We're going to be without the ball for periods, even though we're at home. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup. I just hope Arnie's learned enough from the first game, and that things happen in the right order. Hope there's no stupid bits or anything like, because that can always go wrong, like a sending off or something. That can always happen in the Champions League.
Right.
But yeah, I am quite nervous. Yeah, I'm nervous about tomorrow night's game. We have to play well to go through. I think we will. I think we'll manage to do it. And that'll be good. It'll be the best thing in the long run. Like, if we do go through, that we are really tested, because we're going to be tested even more in the competition as it goes on, aren't we? So yeah. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to how the team gets to grips with them, stops them having as much as the ball, stops them stop them hurting us, and do to them what they did to us as much as possible in our home time. keep the ball away from them.
Okay. Are you confident in our defense, Brian?
Okay, I'm not going to be. I mean, Southampton can score against us. They can score against us. But over the course of a game, we score one, stay when you need. If we score one, they've got to score three to beat us. Then it becomes a bigger ask. So they'll be desperate to get that first goal. So it'll be a lot about timing. You know, if they can get it back to 1-1, you know, or if it goes 2-0 to us pretty quick, that's the thing about European football. The mindset can change very quickly. And our defense stood up to a degree against them, relied on our goalkeeper at the end of it. So it will be. It's going to be probably one of the. Yeah, there might be one other team that we've got left. Probably the best attack I've seen us face so far, even though they didn't score against us. So I'm not going to be distraught if they do get one. I just think we've only got to get as long as we get more. But I'm not going to be. Oh no, we'll get a clean sheet against them. No, after I saw what they did and I saw the players they have, and they took a bit of a Superman performance, and then we got to grips with them later and stopped them having like easier chances, and then. Yeah, I think the one I remember is the Dembele one towards the end when kind of more out of frustration, he just kind of lashed it wide. When earlier on in that game, he might have been a bit more patient. So I think we've shown that you can frustrate them into long shots, but it's a dangerous game to play. I mean, Arne Slot said it in his press conference today. That was not the plan. So for all those people out there that were praising him for pulling off his tactical master plan, he sat there today in front of the world and said that was not the idea. That was not what we went there planning to do. Sit there for 80 minutes and get pummeled and having to get away with it. So for all those people out there that were praising him for doing it, sorry, the man himself has said that was not what they wanted to do. So they want to have a lot more of the ball. And he said, but can we just please like give some praise to that team that did it? You know, they forced that situation. They were just brilliant, absolutely brilliant on the night. But how do they travel? How do they do when they're away at Anfield? Do they still have that same freewheeling kind of mentality? You know, I just expect a slightly open game tomorrow. But you just score one, and then they're looking at going, right, you got to score three now. Rather than having to score one to get back into this game. That's all they're thinking at the start. Score one and we're back in this game. We scored the first. Now they've had to go from one to get back in the game to having scored three to win it. So yeah, I can't predict it, man. I really can't, because these guys are just too good. Someone like Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, Ruiz, Mendes, Vitinha, all these boys, Barcola, whoever they choose to play, they've got magic in their boots, some of them. So yeah, it will be tough and it will be difficult. But you're gonna have to beat these teams and put in these performances, because we've never played anybody thing. We're going to have to play somebody eventually. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're going to have to play someone eventually. And this might be it tomorrow night. This could be a great game. This could be one of those great European games. Hopefully, like, we'll come out at the end of it. But yeah, man, we could have to. Ali might have to have another big game. He might have to have another big game. But so will their boy. It won't be the same it might be the same from them, but it won't be the same from us. They won't dominate us like they did over there. There's no chance on that. So just get that first one, and then yeah. But I'm with the lads. You know, until this game, until we got first goal, I will be nervous, because it's like I said, it's probably one of the best teams I've seen us play this year.
Okay. Well, we can speak on a little bit of the big question, predictions, fun, you know, and that is obviously the big question being who's going to be the victor in this. The Opta supercomputer has Liverpool at 75% favorites to progress in this matchup. But PSG still has a 1 in 3 shot of forcing extra time. The Reds have never been knocked out in a European tie where they won the first leg away. The quick question is, can we keep that record intact tomorrow? That's a big, big question. So do you see us possibly getting a fast start tomorrow? Do you see us, is this like one of those things where we do we get a fast start and we can kind of put the game to bed by halftime, in the sense of putting up like a 2-0 lead going into halftime. For them to beat us, they'd have to then score 3 goals, if not score, or not to beat us, but to bring to extra time, but score 3 goals. Then over on top of that, even score 4 goals in essence to win it in either regulation or even extra time. Do you see that being the case where they can push it to that way, or can we get the job done early by halftime? You see us going to extra time in this game? What are your thoughts, Nolante? Do you see this going to be? Obviously, we've all spoken on how PSG is a good team, but what do you feel is going to be the vibe of us getting this game wrapped up?
I think I remember a game. What was it, 3 years ago? I think it was the quarters against Benfica when Mr. the people who love to hate, Mr. Nunes was there, and we won the first leg comfortably, 3-1.
Mhm.
And then I think we had a 1-0 or 2-0 lead, and then we got a bit lackluster, and they nearly came back on it. And he had 2 offside goals, I remember, disallowed, but it was a 3-3 draw. We still went through. But again, something we made work. We made hard work of it. It's, you know what? It's going to be a game of ups and downs. It's going to be a roller coaster 9 minutes. Yeah, we can't be as bad as it was in the first leg, seconds. But my concern is the midfield because, like I said, the lackluster performances from all of them in certain parts. I'm just worried about that because if they're still lackluster tomorrow, then we have problems. We have big time problems. And that's going to be the key area, And obviously, Mile has to be more. I mean, grow, and then obviously the front three they got a bit more effective. But midfield, we need to take a little bit more control and balance. But as Brian wonderfully alluded to about the so-called tactical masterclass, which he ran on my head, Slot has, like he said, Slot has made his proportion. We ain't going to do that. I think we're going to try and be, in my opinion, I think it'll be more control, 20 to 25 minutes, have the ball, suss them out, and then after that, we'll step on the gas a little bit. I think that's the most important thing, really. In terms of the game, I don't see us losing. I could see a possible draw. I think PSG, as much as I'm nervous, I still think we'll go through. I think the most PSG will get, in my opinion, I think possibly is a draw. So I still see us going through. But again, the midfield is the key for me, and how this game dictates where the play will be.
Okay. Brian, do you see the same?
Sorry. What are we saying?
Do you see the same? Do you see it as being like, well, he's saying that the best that PSG possibly could get out of this is a draw, but do you think that we can get this done, do you think we can go into halftime like a 2-0 lead or something like that? Or do you think it's going to be like one of those like back and forth, it's 1-1 going into halftime, or it's 2-2?
No, that's too specific. That's too specific. That's too specific. We'll be 1-0 up or 2-0 up at halftime. That's, it's. I just think we'll need to get a grip.
I'll make it simplified for you then.
No.
Do you think that we're going to be going into? Do you think that we can get a lead or sustain a lead going into halftime, so that we can make the second half be a different tone for us, considering that we've had a couple of games where we had to overcorrect, if not overcorrect, I mean, had to correct our strategies to try to overcome deficits or the like. So, with that said, do you think that we can be in gear to go into halftime with a lead, or do you think it's going to be a game that it's going to take us to the second half to get really motoring and running again?
I couldn't tell you, man. If I knew that, I'd be a millionaire. I just over 90, I think we'll get it done, but it will be like what Nalante is saying. They've got really, really good midfielders, and if we allow them to dictate, it could be a difficult night, a frustrating night. But we just need to be able to take the advantages we have and make it just make it our game for 90. Take our chances when they come. You can score after 60 seconds, and then they'll be done. Their mentality will be changed completely. If we're 2-0 up after we get something in the first 5. So yeah, I think we just play it as it comes to us. Try and get the ball, try and score as early as possible. If it has to be first half, second half. But yeah, I don't know. This one's a really hard one for me to call, man, because we've seen teams like that, and then they go away from home, and it's like, where's the team from last week on? Where's that team? I haven't seen much of PSG away. They're very unpredictable in Champions League. So I just can't really. It's just a team that I've, like I said, the way I saw them play against us. But do they go away from home and not be able to pull that off? Do they crumble at Anfield? Who knows? But they'll have a good game, that good manager who'll have a strong game plan, and he'll want to hit us early. So we'll have to get. Yeah, I don't think we'll be able to kind of coast it to halftime and keep them at arm's length. I think we'll kind of have to go toe to toe with them. They won't let us settle. They won't let us try and dictate the game. Their midfield, I think, is on form, is probably as technical and as good as ours.
Ours has really got to step up in this game, hasn't it? Like,
yeah.
From the first,
is it the Anfield? Like, it's again, like I say, some of these teams are good, and then they go away in their powder puff. You're like, what happened to you from 2 weeks ago? It's I have a lack of trust in PSG. I have a slight lack of trust in PSG. But at the same time, they're just one of those guys.
Might help put the wins up them, but not to the extent where they wouldn't be able to play their way out of it within a few minutes. Like if we got an early goal and then we're all over them for the seconds, they'd be able to play their way back into the game, wouldn't they? Like nothing's going to be settled in the first half. I don't think it'd probably be in the second half, like. But we'll see anyway. See what happens. But they're used to going away from home and playing in big games in the Champions League. And the big players anyway, you know what I mean? They played at other clubs, play internationally and that, like, so there's no hope they're going to, really shit themselves if they go behind at Anfield. But it'll definitely make their night a lot harder if they do concede early. We know this from Anfield in the past, scoring an early goal. One of these games in Europe can really get the crowd going if they're in the right frame of mind. The crowd. So let's hope they are. Let's hope they are tomorrow night. Let's hope they're nice and noisy. Let's hope they're varied with their songs. And that we heard a lot of them. They get right behind the side. Sing us on to glory.
Arne Slot made a admission about getting the lineup wrong against Southampton. And he did note that he did substitute Dom off, for instance, early on in that halftime, and as well as Curtis Jones. He substituted both Jones and Elliott off. What is a question going into this matchup? Obviously, won't be about. Obviously, Tyler Morton's got the shoulder injury. Joey's still out with the hamstring injury. Connor's still out with the hamstring injury. Those three names, okay, we weren't expecting to see them otherwise anyway because of those injuries. But everyone else is pretty much healthy and fit and ready to go. Even Cody looks like because Cody did get to train on Cody did train on Monday, so it could be a case where maybe Cody's finally ready to go. We got quite a bit of action out of Lucho in our last game. Question is now, who do you see getting into this lineup? I have a possible lineup that might have some people saying, okay, that's an interesting lineup 12, but it's a lineup that I could see this coach going with. And
No, Coco.
Yeah.
Leave it.
Anticipation.
Bad
Sure
Coco. Bad Coco.
Okay. So I have a possible starting lineup of, I'll show you. Let me put this into the chat here. But I have a possible lineup of, 1 second, let me make sure I get it right here. I'm going to put it into the chat, and then I'll put it into actual, so you can actually see it. It's going to be surprising, especially since I am a big, let me make sure I have it right there. I have a little semicolon as to where it differentiates the line, but looking at Ali as our keeper, obviously, but Trent, Ibu, Verge, and Robbo in the back line. That's something that's for what it is. I don't see any difference in that being made. But I do see a difference in our midfield possibly being made, and that is possibly Maka, Grav, and maybe we see Harvey Elliott get a start. Okay? I heard someone say, I don't know if that was to me or to the dog, but and Salah, I know, right? Salah, Cody, and surprisingly so, Diego. Once again.
Oh wow. Yeah, 2 shocking decisions from you, Tom. I'm surprised about that. But you'd be the Wizzy.
Yeah. I think that I would like to see him start, certainly. But I don't think he will start, possibly. But I could be corrected. I'll even show you this too. This is an important portion, though, of this. I'll show you this too. Make sure it fits all in here. These are the players that are going to be looking at being good boys on the pitch tomorrow. And that is Elliott, Ibu, Maka, and Verge, and Robbo all need to avoid getting yellow cards, because doing so would mean they would miss the first leg of any potential quarterfinal that we would have if they're cautioned tomorrow as well. So do keep an eye on that too. Those players, some of these players are pretty much guaranteed to start. Verge, Ibu, pretty much guaranteed to start. I think Mac is a guaranteed start. Robbo might be even in. Some might think Simicast should get a start, but even that's near here or there. Robbo, I think, is a pretty much guaranteed start. Elliott obviously isn't, but all the same, he is on that list of players that have to not get a yellow card tomorrow. Otherwise, they will miss that first match or first return match to in that quarterfinal.
Yeah, it's the Canate, Van Dijk, and McAllister ones that are troublesome, because I assume that they'll carry over into further rounds. So maybe they have to get them out the way while we're playing Villa. So we don't when we play Madrid, missing either of the sides. But even against Villa, that'd be tough without any of them 3 for either of the legs, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Norm does not see Elliott nor Cody starting. I know Alexander's like, wow, Cody thrown into the hot pot from the start. I know. Let's see. Bernie says, depends on training today. Hard to say if Cody is fit. She thinks he will get 30 minutes. Okay. Bonkers also doesn't see Cody starting as well. Norm thinks Cody will get a 30-minute cameo at the end of the game. Big up, Ant's in the house. Big up, Ant. His lineup is he would go the usuals in a 4-3-3, or I know he means 4-3-2-1, but still the same. Meaning goalkeeper, defense, midfielder, and itself. But he says picks itself, meaning the back line that I spoke on. And then he says Maka, Grab, and Dom will be in the midfield, and the front three will be Jones. Okay.
Oh, he's playing on the left.
He's saying Cody on the excuse not Cody, Curtis on the left, Diaz in the middle, and Salah on the right. Now that's a unique approach. That's interesting. Norm is saying Diego, or he's saying Hata, Diaz, and Mo. Bertie's asking whether Chiesa's going to get the start.
Yes.
Let's see. That's a good question. I'll bring that up at the end of the show, Norm, about Kelleher. Bernadette, it's Ant says Elliott's not strong enough to start for him. Okay. And then Norm is saying something about he thinks that Jones and Elliott, he prefers them to be second half players, more of impact players, I guess, is what he's trying to get at. Ant's a more robust midfield is Jones or Dom acting as a false nine. Okay. And Bernie says you want your best starters. Let them score and really secure a strong lead, then sub and rest them. Bonkers. I got you. Yeah, the names that I brought up earlier, like I said, those are names that have to stay on the good list for tomorrow. But I get it. I get it. You might not see my lineup as being your lineup. What is your lineup then? What would be your lineup? You could and tell us. This is what I think he's going to play. That's not my lineup, as in like my preference. By the way, that's the lineup I believe Arne Slot is going to play. That's not my lineup that I would play if I was, Arne Slot's replacement, or if I was Arne Slot's assistant coach or something. That's what I mean. So tell us what you think he is going to do tomorrow. Not what you think. Just tell us what you would do. What do you think he's going to do? Lee, what do you think he is going to do? Meaning, what is the slot machine going to pull the lever on tomorrow?
I think he'll play Jota. I think he will start with Jota. He'll give him that chance, I think. And the rest picks itself, I think. Yeah, I think he'll go with the strongest lineup, and he'll probably pick Jota to spearhead it to try and help him get the goals. That's what my feeling is. As for the players on yellows, I mean, am I right in thinking that one of our rewards for finishing first in the group is that we'll be away from home in all the ties until the final? I'm sure I've seen that we'll be away in the quarters first and in the semi first.
Yeah, that's right, Lee. Yeah. So we'll wait. Yeah, so our home tie is the second leg up to the final if we get there.
Yeah, so we're looking at keeping Ibu, DJ, and McAllister yellow free tomorrow night so they can play in Birmingham, aren't we? And then if they were to miss a game, then maybe the Anfield leg. But yeah, it is a tough one. It's a tightrope, isn't it? Like, I just hope it's not a game with a lot of Ickering and fouls and that in it, because we don't want to be going away in the quarter-final, do we, in the first leg without either of them three. Probably we could just about absorb, maybe Ebu would be the easiest one to absorb and play Giroud. But I wouldn't want to be without McAllister or VVD like Birmingham. So yeah, we're gonna have to watch that. Going to be a big thing for us. But at the end of the day, you just got to win the games and get through. If people are missing, they're missing, aren't they? You know what I mean? It's the same.
Exactly.
Same rules for everyone. We're just going to have to play our game and not think about it, aren't we? If it happens, it happens.
Okay. All right.
But I think he'll start shot at 12. Yeah, I think he'll go for the back four, the three, and then Jota, probably Diaz and Salah.
Bonkers is saying Nunez should start. We need the shenanigans up front. Okay. Would you prefer to have Nunez as a starter for tomorrow's matchup, or would you prefer to have him as the wild card in tomorrow's matchup?
Yeah, keep him as the joker in the pack, like the wild card.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Him and Gakpo on the bench sounds good enough to me. Sounds like good striking options on the bench to me.
Mm-hmm. It's seeming that a lot of people in the chat like the 4-2-2-2 or 4-4-2, however you want to reference it, formation a lot. Alexander says we need control and more flexibility. The sit-tag formation offer those. I think it was also Ant says yes, the 4-2-2-2 is what he was looking at. Says PSG's youthful midfield was the key to outplaying us in the first leg. I think it's a little more of
beautiful
the legs of some of the players that were in that midfield, and that's why I was saying, do I think Dom will start? Maybe he has it's not a foregone conclusion that Elliott's going to start. I'm just going by what he said, by what the coach said in the presser after the game, and kind of giving my tea leaves read of maybe he gives Elliott a start. It would be a very, very bold move to put Elliott in as a starter in a game that is a winner take all style game. So it would be a bold situation. But let's see. And Refalize saying 4-man midfield, no striker. He wants Ali, Trent, Ibu, Rabo, Grav, Dom, Maka, Curtis, Lucho, and Mo to be in his lineup. Okay. Let's see. That's about all I have there. How do you feel? Oh yes, and then of course, end the time or end the game, endo game. I don't know which one sounds better. End the time or endo game.
Endo game.
Endo game.
Endo game games. Yeah. It's like what's
it's
the
yeah.
Yeah.
Flawless.
Netflix, exactly. Yeah.
There you go. Endo game.
Yeah, endo game.
Big up KJ in the house. Big up. KJ, we still got a little bit of time. If you want to join, you're more than welcome to. I don't know if you're at work or not.
Big up KJ. Big up KJ.
There is just one Chiesa, definitely. Yes, endo means end of game. It does. And that's how I see it. Endo game. I think that sounds kind of cool. Yeah.
But just on the 4-2-2, people, I mean, I spoke about it before the PSG game, that this is
Mhm.
what we use against City, and I was calling it the Park Ji Sung. I mean, no one, anyway. Um, he didn't use it away, so I don't think why he'd use it at home.
Yeah, we don't need to. Yeah.
I don't, I thought that was something that he would have looked at for the Man City game. Thought how well it worked. Similar game away against a big team, and I thought that was something he might use there. But would he do it at home? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I thought you guys are laughing. I'll just shut up. You guys are laughing at something.
Laughing at the chat. What a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man, what a mighty, mighty good man for water. Brilliant.
Not order. Yeah. Yeah.
If you thought that
Japanese
was
songs.
Red for Life, it's a good one. Excellent.
That's funny. Okay, I got you. Well, have a good night at work, for sure. Finish your point though, Brian. You're saying about the 4-2-2, 4-2-2-2, or 4-4-2, however you want to look at it.
No, that's all I was trying to say. I was just trying to say, like, they didn't use it against them away, so I don't know why he decided to use it at home, but I thought he would play it away, and he didn't. So maybe he does do. But it worked. I think he'll. No, I just think he'll start with the. As I said, I really liked it as a formation in big away games or that kind of thing. It was something he'd struck upon, but no, I just think with the one tomorrow, just the fact that they'll go. Like, he did make a point about them leaving space and all of that. So I think Nunes might be a consideration because of what he spoke about. He pointed out a few things they do, and they're going to have to do it again. So no, I wouldn't go too conservative from the start.
Okay.
It's a good way to lock down a game. I just I don't know, Messi. It's really difficult. I'm not want to get too into predicting this because this is high level shit. What's happening tomorrow night. This is real coaching. This is top level coaching and management. Get this right. Make the wrong mistake. Yeah, like I think what he was talking about when he was talking about when he got his selection wrong at the weekend. I think he was specifically almost talking about Dominic Szoboszlai. He said he shouldn't have started him. So there could come down to fine margins. Like, this is, again, I don't want to cop it out, but this is why these get paid the big bucks, to make these calls and what's right and what's wrong. And this could be just one for the neutral again tomorrow. For us, for me, it'll be a behind the couch kind of game. I just want to know the result and watch it kind of thing. Pretty nerve-wracking until we do get it. So.
Okay. I think we'll see the similar lineup that we saw against us. Start against us, by the way. I put in what I think is going to be the PSG possible lineup. Also, it is still 0-0 in that West Ham Newcastle game. If you're wondering, still 0-0. West Ham is starting to pick up the action, they've made some adjustments in halftime and coming out a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more active on the ball. But we're still talking about PSG. So, okay. So you basically, everyone has, I guess the panel here, you guys all have basically it being the lineup that we've come to expect. Maybe and again, I know, Brian, you say if a player is good enough to start or good enough to be on the bench, he's good enough to start. So I would assume you probably have Cody starting as well in that front lineup, or do you not have him starting?
No, he's been out too long now for me to go right back in.
Okay.
I think Diaz, Jota, Salah, Dom, Mac, Grav, and then the back four. And
Okay.
just lots and lots of talent on the bench. You know, Cody will see him tomorrow. Definitely will.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. That's it. What are your score predictions then? Let's get our score predictions in right now. Coming close to the 90th minute of this show. So let's get our score predictions, our scorer predictions. What would be your score or scorer prediction? We can start with let's start with Lee. Let's start with
Lee. 2-1 to us.
Okay.
All goals in the second half. All three of them.
Okay. 2-1. Both goals in the second half. All right. Milante?
Heart says same as Lee. My head says draw Desmond.
Okay. Desmond. How about for you, Brian?
Yeah, I like what Lee. I think we'll beat them by a goal, whether that's 2-1 or 3-2. I'd like 3-2. I didn't. That wouldn't bother me at all. That'd be a fun game. But I think we'll beat them by a goal. So one, but yeah, they'll score. So I'll go with a 2-1.
Okay.
3-1 on aggregate then.
Okay. I'm gonna go with my original score of 3-2. Maybe we get it this time. I said 3-2 last time. I'll say 3-2 again this time. Ended up being a 1-0, which is not even close to a 3-2, other than the fact that it's a 1-goal difference. So, I wasn't that bad in the beginning of the season. Now my score predictions have gone off a little bit of off key a little bit with their accuracy. But let's see what you guys got in the chat. Alexander's got 2-0 Liverpool. Bernie's got 2-1 Liverpool. Norm's got a 1-1 draw, which will still see us get through. KJ's got 2-1. Jimmy's got 3-1. And Philip's got 2-1. So everyone other than Alexander has them at least getting a goal. Yeah. I'm hoping that we can get another clean sheet. We get a clean sheet, we go. I say that like this: clean sheet gets us to the quarterfinals. That's how it is, regardless of whether we score or we don't score. A clean sheet gets us through. So, I'd like to see us achieve that. At least achieve that as one of our main goals for tomorrow night. Pretty wild stuff. So, yeah. Is there anything that you wanted to bring up about the game that was on your head or on your mind, and I think there was something, Alante, that you wanted to bring up as well from yesterday?
Oh, God, jeez, I can't completely forgot now. It's two things. I'll speak to you. Well, I'm going to do it, but I'll speak to you backstage as well. And once you finish the show.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a little. First of all, I just want to just talk about Slot in a sense, and actually two things. Yeah, two things actually. I saw again. I don't know if this Football Insider or Caught Offside, but I saw again Curtis Jones linked with a apparent. Well, again, I don't believe it, but who knows about. Apparently, him and Slot have had a little falling out, and apparently, in the Milan are after looking at buying him for 34 mil, which kind of whether that's true or not, I don't know.
Wait, hold on. You said that him and Klopp or him and Slot?
No, Slot.
Slot and Curtis Jones had a falling out?
I've had some kind of little mini falling out. I think it's apparently about to start. And apparently Inter Milan are linked with him in the summer. they won him in the summer, and the fee that was quoted was 34 million, which I found a bit okay. Took me whether it happened or not. I'm not sure if that does, but yeah,
million for Curtis.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry, Nalante, you were a bit break. What was their falling out about?
No, I think all he was, Bri, is about starts. Not, I mean, he's got a few starts, but not just the red. Yeah, you know the usual, Bri. Like not starting. So apparently, again, this is just what I'm reading, and the fee that was quoted for Case in the summer from Inter was about 35 mil.
I can't believe Curtis is 24 years old already. That's wild.
Yeah.
Time flies, people. Time flies.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Remember his great winner against Everton in the cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a long time ago now.
I know, isn't it? Yeah. Oh
Like
God, I'm scared. Oh jeez.
But it wasn't long ago he was still in the England under 21 side when they won it. I remember when he was dead good against Spain for England under 21s. He must have been 23.
Yeah, he played the final. Yeah, he was one of the best players. Yeah.
Which Spanish midfielder was it? Had had enough of Curtis peacocking and showboating, but he kept doing turns and and one of their midfielders has had enough and just chopped them down. It was one of their really good technical players as well. Couldn't handle it. Curtis was out attacking them all and just sliced them down. It was dead funny. He did it. It was like Nunez's tackle on Walker Pieces. It was that type of one. He just went up and went. Yeah. No, I can't see him leaving. I could see maybe he'd have some problems, something like, I'm not starting enough. But I can't see him leaving. I hope not anyway. I like Curtis.
Yeah. Agreed. Absolutely agree. How about you, Brian?
First I've heard of it, but players want to play. And it's okay at 18, 19. But like you said, he's 24 now. So if he's got another scenario in the summer where he'll be sat down and said, as it stands, you won't be blah, 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 my first choice. If he can break into the team, is that what he wants? Every player comes to a crossroads in their career where they decide whether they want to be a regular player, regular starter somewhere, manager to trust them, all those kind of things, or do you want to be a squad player on the bench more often than not?
Mm-hmm.
It always comes a point, like you said, 24 now. If he's 19, he's not going anywhere. At 24, he might have
24 years young, I should say.
Yeah, he might have a different outlook on it himself. Like I never like try and put myself in the head of somebody. So I don't know what Curtis Jones is thinking. So if he's thinking, okay, I'm hearing that I'm not going to be like nobody's guaranteed first choice, but like he's going to bring in another mid. Yeah, I could see a conversation being had. Whether that means he leaves or not, I don't know. But 34 million, bit on the low side this day and age. But he's not an 80 million pound player, so no, he could be one that there'll be conversations about in the summer.
Currently, his player value. This is just market value, obviously. Estimated market value is 36.1 million pounds.
Oh, okay.
So they would be making, I would assume too, they're probably saying 34 million euros, probably, since it's an Italian team. So that would be that'd be a low bid.
Yeah.
I guess that would be like just the starting point bid.
Yeah, probably so. I've actually got just a fun one for you guys on the panel and the chat. My thing is, who was the better player, Patrick Berger or Luis Garcia, and why do you prefer one over the other? That's for you guys, 12, Bri, Lee, and the chat. So, who's the better player for you and why, Patrick Berger or Luis Garcia?
Gotta be Garcia. I love Berger, but Garcia is the one for me out of them two.
Same here.
If Berger would have been here in a more successful time, maybe he could have reached them heights, but he wasn't, unfortunately, for Pat Berger, and Garcia was.
Yeah, I think Garcia. Brian got one? Got an answer?
Yeah, kind of difficult enough one. His Berger was a great player. He's injured a lot, do I see Berger? Garcia, if you're just talking kind of probably out and out talent, if you're forgetting about all the actual kind of realities, so you're just talking about pure talent, probably Garcia. But Berger was a hell of a player as well. But to me, he was very in and out Burger. In and out Burger. Yeah, you have them, don't you? In and out Burger. Yeah.
Yeah. Mustard.
That's a good one.
Yeah. He was. Yeah, he was. I just remember being injured a lot, but a great play, a great free kick on him. Geez, yeah, but Garcia was a little bit special too. Yeah, that's a tough one, Volante. That's a tough one.
Mm.
That really is. But I'd probably just on terms of pure kind of natural talent and ability, probably just about Garcia.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Yeah.
Why is it Patrick for you?
Yeah, I don't know. I got Patrick slightly for me. Although Garcia was very underrated, don't get me wrong, but Garcia, we'll have one good game, Garcia, then the next game he'll be a bit, but but again, he had more moments than Patrick. Oh, that's for sure. But Patrick, exactly, that's the thing, Brian, isn't it?
They don't remember the back. They don't remember the games where he did nothing for 67 minutes. Got taken off.
Exactly. I could give you 10. I could have set you up 10 assists, Brian. But if you got the goals in cup finals, 5 and moments, they like you said, they're gonna remember your goals. Those 5 golden moments. You know.
Without the ghost goal, without that, I mean, I think he's a cult hero purely just for that goal alone. You know, that was a huge. That's one of the most iconic moments we have in our recent history. That was just huge. But yeah, it's a bastard of a question, man. To be honest with you.
Yeah, 12 and leave the colours. No, I think with Berger, I remember I remember Euro 96, as everyone does, you know. And obviously, I remember watching him. No, fair play. I'll agree. No, I remember obviously the Czechs. I mean, I didn't like who, obviously we all know it's coming in and all that, and the Czechs were killing it. And obviously, getting Berger. And he was at Dortmund. I remember we bought him. I think it was for again 3.25 million, which was a lot. And I was gassed. I was happy to have him. And yeah, you're right, Brian. I think Berger, he had some good times, like Norman was saying about the treble. Made contributes like 96, 97, the first 2 years, and then after that injuries, and he was in and out of the team, but he contributed as well, but in different ways.
I'm really glad he was still here for the treble season to get them medals.
Yeah.
He hasn't won fuck all since he's been here, so I was glad to get them 3 before he left, and especially the UEFA Cup, because he said so himself. So did Smicer, that they liked that one most because it was the European one. So did Hourier. He said this was my biggest joy because I'm a European manager. Like, my biggest joy is to win the UEFA Cup for Liverpool. And I was glad he was still here for that. And he scored loads of good goals. He was when we got him, we weren't that good. Where he had that great run to the final, only denied in extra. The 120-minute palaver. Oliver Bierhoff, wasn't it, at the end? I was supporting Czechoslovakia, obviously, in that final. I think it was still Czechoslovakia at that point.
Czech Republic, when they got to the final.
Changed the Republic, probably has. But anyway,
Czech Republic,
because Germany had done us on penalties in the semi. But yeah, he was a good part of that team. Like, Smythe is probably more comparable to Garcia than Berger as a player. But yeah, I liked Garcia a bit more. Yeah. One of my favourite ever Garcia goals was that header he scored from the edge of the box. It was just insane. And for a little man, he's just got so much
he could leap.
Got so much power and direction. It was just obscene, this header. It was just unbelievable. It's to be able to do that with your head as well as your foot, like pure quality.
I'm trying to get a I'll see if I can get a stat matrix here for you in 1 second. Let me see.
Nice. And Berger, of course, his left foot was, it was devastating. It was, that left foot was a wand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
them
I
two
think
goals.
yeah. As far as I remember,
Yeah.
the main Arsenal as well. He scored it,
Yeah, he did have his injuries.
Yeah,
he
did.
While he was here, and like when we had that treble season, he'd not long come back from quite a long-term injury, so it was good for him to. He was pretty much.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm asking about. And he had one. He had like a long term. Like I know he had bits and pieces, but I remember him having like a knee operation or an ACL or something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember specifically what injuries he had, but I know he had a couple that were quite bad.
Because it's just like if you take over Liverpool in Championship Manager 0102, when you take over the squad, Berger is like 5 months away from coming back. So if you take them over in the 0102 season, he's recovering from a big injury, and it's the one that he had in real life. That's why I always think that's what I was remembering.
I'm in the chat box in the stream. I didn't go to any of the Euro 96 games at Anfield, sadly. I wish I would have now. But Italy specifically asked, didn't he, Norm, to play the Euro 96 games, home games at Anfield, because they wanted to be, obviously wanted to be at Anfield, yeah. I mean, it was only the crappy old Anfield Road stand as well, like, but they got what they wanted and they loved it, didn't they? Like, and had a nice old sing-song, the Italian fans in the Road and the old one. Yeah, goes on you for going to one. I wish I would have went. Seen Chiesa. I was a big fan of Chiesa's dad as well from Football Italian on the telly.
Oh yeah, Enrico. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Should have went, mate. That's bad from me. I should have went. But I don't know if it would have been that easy to get a ticket. Euro 96. God knows. Goodison Park was chosen in 1966 over Anfield. Pele played at Goodison. And Eusebio. But yeah, there you go.
Actually, pretty close. See if I can get this. It's not going to give me those stats. The only stats I'm getting on here are for Patrick Berger, though. But it's for it's for his time playing for Czechoslovakia in the Euros. It's not giving me his stats because and it's only giving me Garcia's stats in the World Championships, the UEFA Champions League, but they're not telling me
12.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I can see here on Wikipedia. I can see his season for goals in the Premier League. If that helps.
Bring that up.
Okay. So let me just check. So altogether for us, he played 148 games and he got 28 goals. And his highest goal scoring season was in the 1999-2000 season when he's played 34 times and 9 goals. So that was his highest in terms of goals.
Mm-hmm.
So I think him and Garcia, the goal numbers should be pretty close, I'm thinking. Although Garcia had less seasons, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Garcia was only here a hot minute, man.
Yeah, he was only one. It was, wasn't he? I think was it. When did he go? When did he leave again? Was it 07? I'm sure. Was it 07?
2 years most.
By that, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Came in. He had the. I mean, it's one of the great photographs. The day, our Spanish Revolution, I suppose, whatever everybody was.
Oh Lord, yeah. Yeah, hell yeah.
We signed him and Alonso on the same day.
Yeah, that was
Luis
great
Garcia and
signings.
Xabi Alonso on the same day on the pitch with Rafa Benitez. You know,
Yeah.
that was now I think like everybody knew about Alonso, but everybody was like, oh, but nobody really knew about Luis Garcia, especially back in those days, almost pre-internet. The internet was around, but almost pre-internet. And it was like, oh, and they got this guy. So that was really like, oh, the Spanish Revolution has started, you know, at Liverpool. Rafa Benitez brings in Alonso and Garcia, and the two of them. That's a hell of a double, you know, a double announcement. Two players
Don't
like
forget
that on one day. I'm trying to forget
Antonio Nunes.
the original Nunes. Yeah, he
Well,
came as part of the Owen deal, didn't he? So
yeah,
Yeah,
well,
horrible.
his presence
oh,
served
he
the
was
purpose
terrible.
with the song.
Oh, he was terrible. He
Nunes.
filled in a spot. Yeah, it did. He
Yeah.
worked. He filled in a spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
God,
liked
what a
Hotami
waste.
on the Istanbul photos. Hotami and the players like
Yeah.
Diao and all that getting right into it. And Stephen Wright, I think, was there. Hotami with the Spanish flag.
Covered
Like,
in flags.
yeah,
Hosmi is look up that picture. Hosmi has more flags on him than Cop End does.
Hotami
I
was
mean, the
all
guy
right.
was just
He
covered
wasn't
in
too bad.
flags.
He just wasn't as good as Alvaro Arbeloa, who soon replaced him. But Hotami was okay. He wasn't like the worst or nothing. Like,
Oh no, he's horrible. I think he's alright, but he's horrible. We had a
Oh
good
yeah,
bit of the Spanish
him.
Revolution and the bad bitch. Yeah. Oh,
he was tolerable, I'd say. Hotami, like, you know, but Alvaro Arbeloa was such a good right back.
Mhm.
I was
oh
gutted
yeah,
go of him. He was just
We
like,
had no
yeah,
idea how good he was. He was
exactly.
massively underrated in England.
Oh man, he
Massively
played a
underrated.
role. Yeah,
And then he went and played about 4,000 games for Madrid and won everything there is to win and played his Barcelona.
yeah, exactly, Brian. Yeah,
Left back, right back. He could even play centre half.
yeah, great rapper
No
sign.
appreciation. There was no appreciation for him in England whatsoever.
yeah. Oh, Bernie, that's funny. I was actually going to bring that up to the guys. Yeah, the Arbiola and Carragher meltdown at West Brom when he had the internal fight on the pitch. Oh, I'll tell you. Vidal Carragher. Carroll. Oh, boy. Jeez.
Yeah. Did they play? Did they play together? I don't think the Garcia and Berger didn't play together.
No, they missed out.
I think they missed by like 1 year or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
He
Exactly.
got in 03. The other guy came in 04.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah. Gotcha. Well. Yeah. Long time ago.
Yeah. The replays is funny, yeah. It's like a dad disciplining a school kid. Yeah, that was a past it. Brucey. He was gone by that time.
The main
Yeah.
memory Lucy of him coming to blows with Jim Beglin on the pitch in the '86 Cup final against Everton, because Beglin he sort of like let it go. He wanted him to let it go, and that didn't he? And he's like pushed him, and that didn't he? Grobbelaar had a bit of a meltdown and pushed Beglin dead hard, like.
Yeah. All right, let me see something else too. Put that down there. All right, got our score predictions. We got our scorer predictions. We got our lineup predictions. Everyone got their lineup predictions in, correct? Anything else you guys want to bring up before we wrap this episode up and get ready for roll call for tomorrow? Anything?
We've done our predictions and our teams.
Yeah, we've done everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of how you say roll call. Appels nomino, something like that. That's French. Appelos means roll and call.
Let's not keep.
All right. We are going to have a roll call tomorrow. We humbly ask that you guys be a part of that roll call tomorrow. If you can be, of course.
Oh, so sorry, you're talking about roll call in French, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's baguette telephone.
Hey! Brian with the French. He's been hiding his French in the bucket.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
La ham and cheese.
Okay. It's just appel. Appel is roll call for France. So we're going to need a proper roll call for all of our Reds out there tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be an absolute barn burner, hopefully in our favor, in that it'll be one that is going to be spirited and certainly contested, heavily contested. So is there anything though that you guys want to say to the people before we let them go?
No, hold on. If you're over to me, just enjoy the rest of your evening. Bruno Guimaraes, okay. 1-0 up for the
winning now, Artie.
for the town. Yeah. So yeah, no, just what is it? 8 o'clock, so 7 p.m. tomorrow for the baguette telephone, and see you all there.
Baguette telephone. Yeah. Yeah, that's where it's going to be down to. Well, we will allow for everyone to enjoy the rest of their evening. It is. Oh wait, I did have some start. Let me bring up these start questions.
Bernie had one. Yeah, Bernie had
Yeah,
a very
right now,
controversial question.
starting to
Very
feel a bit
controversial
numb that
question.
we are in the last part of the season. I get what you're saying. Possibly. I have two questions. I'll bring up that question too, but I'll make sure I start so I can make sure I bring it up. First question is Salah, Kane, or Haaland? Who is the best out of those three? Panel. Salah, Kane, or Haaland? Who is the best? Don't all jump.
Well, give us who's up.
I'll not Nalate.
I'll back our man and say it's Mo.
All right, Lee's going Salah.
Yeah.
That's a non-question. Mo.
Mo. Okay.
Purely on a goals per game ratio, Haaland wins it. Better player. Yeah, you couldn't find two more different players than Kane or than Haaland and Salah.
Exactly.
Well,
That's the thing.
you could. Yeah, I mean, Kane and Haaland Kane is a much more complete footballer.
Agreed.
He could match. He could match Haaland for goals, especially like he did in that Spurs team. But Kane can drop deep, link play, provide assists. So as much of an incredible machine Haaland is, I think at his very, very best as an all-round player, I think I would have probably taken a Harry Kane. It sounds ridiculous to say, but I think I probably would have taken a Harry Kane over an Erling Haaland.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
He would probably have he'd probably given you as many goals, but giving you a lot more in terms of link play, assists, and things like that. So I mean, Salah is kind of just sitting out there to the side doing his own thing. But as much as Haaland is just kind of phenomenal and all that, but he's not as doesn't have as many sides to his game as Harry Kane did. And I don't like Harry Kane. There's nothing about him I like. I don't like anything about the guy. But no, I've just never liked him. I've just never liked the way he used to kind of always come back too early from injuries and kind of do stuff. I don't know. I just never liked him.
Something about him.
Yeah, but if you were to ask me to someone put in your team, I would take a Harry Kane over an Erling Haaland every day of the week, just because of all the extras that you'd get from someone like him, and he'd score. Yeah, okay, Haaland might score 38, but I think Kane would probably get you like 32, and he'd get way more assists than a Haaland would. That's and like I just leave Mo out to this. Like I say, I just leave Mo out on the side doing his own thing, and whichever striker. So I'd rather play Mo with Harry Kane than play Mo with Erling Haaland.
Agreed.
Okay.
I'll go one further. Sorry, Tom. I know you're going to say something. I'll go one further, which might upset a lot of people for controversy. Even listen, I love Bobby, but listen, Kane in his prime, I'll take Kane over Bobby. I've said it.
You said it before as well. You've said it before. You're not just saying controversy. You said that many times.
I'll say thank you, bro. Good memory.
Yeah, you have.
Okay. The next question was by Norm, and he says, "Do you
got away with that one? I'll take easier than you thought you would."
Kelleher will play in final.
Exactly.
Do you think Kelleher gets to start in the league?
Oh, final. Oh yeah, good question actually. Kelleher in the final.
Yeah, I would have said yes. No, okay.
I don't think he will. I think he'll start Ali. I think
he'll play Ali as well. So Newcastle are winning, aren't they?
Looks like it at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only 5 minutes left in normal time.
Victory done it to go into the final with.
Yeah, they're near the top 4. Yeah.
Is he playing, is he?
Yeah, he's playing. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a great question from old Normie, the 8-man experience. You know what? I want Kelleher to play Sunday, to be honest, because he'll be his last. Well, I mean, until the end of the season when we wrap up things, it'll be his last game for Liverpool. But will Slot? I think with you guys, I think he'll go Ali over him, which is a shame. But I think so. Yeah, I think he was. I would want Kelleher to start, but I don't think he will. We'll save him for when we complete the mission and get the games. Yeah.
Oh, if he's not going to start the final, then it could be probably going to be the last time we see him start.
You might not see him again.
Might not see him start again.
You may not.
End of the season, when we wrap up the title, we don't need to start Ali. He can enjoy some pina colada.
Pina colada.
Yeah.
If you like pina coladas.
There you go. And then Kelleher will get his well-deserved goodbye games, which he really deserves, man. Honestly. I will be fair. I've said it 101 times. I'll be sorry to see him go, but with Mama's gonna come in, and as much as Mama says I want to be number 1, I'm sorry, you ain't going over Ali like that. You need to bide your time.
Take your time with it.
Take as Tube's done. Yeah, where did that fish finish? That end up with him 12, as you know.
Oh, that was the best. That definitely did not end well for him. That didn't end well for him.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, that was that question. Okay. And well, you're talking about the end, but Kelleher might not see another start. Bernie asked, anybody else starting to feel a bit glum that we are in the last part of the season? I'll tell you this much. Time flies when you're having fun, apparently, Bernie, because this season has gone by. There have been some seasons where it feels like an eternity to get from start to finish. This season is like very close to being over, and even more so, it's closer to being over because of our ability to outpace some of the other teams in the league for this title, and I think that has made it a little bit different. But hey, I don't know. There's very little downtime when it comes to the summer, so it's not like once the season's over, it's like the season starts right back up practically. So I'm looking forward to a parade. How about that? How about for you guys?
Lee?
Yeah, Brian? Lee?
Lee?
Sorry, what was the question?
Okay. Brian, how about for you? You'll get it. You'll get it. I had the question on the screen.
No, like I said that to Bernie. I said it's like time flies. It's exactly what I said to her. It's like time flies. It's if we were getting bet every second week and having to rely on John Joe Shelby's and Kabaks and Reese Williamses and these kind of guys, we'd be sitting there going, Jesus, is this still only March? How many more weeks of this crap do we have to put up before we can get to the summer and fix things? But when you're just going and going and going, am I glum? No, I suppose not at all, Bernie. No, it's just where we are. I hadn't thought about it like that at all until they asked, I suppose. I hadn't really considered it until they asked.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it is where we are. And it's because, like 12 Man says, when you're having fun, when you're winning games, you're going unbeaten. You've only lost one game all season.
Right.
You're top of everything. You've got Mo Salah breaking records. Games are flying by. No, just loving it how it is. I'm just loving how it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Same here. Enjoy it while it lasts, people, because the fight starts all over at the end of this. Come the tail end of the summer, starts all over. So
I have a question before you go as well. Before we go, I have a question. Mainly for the chat as well. Just in a kind of a straw poll or whatever, because you just because, as you're saying there, you don't get a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
When everything starts up again. Are people, I suppose, thumbs up, thumbs down, or yes, no kind of thing? Are people happier that we've turned down, as a word, the chance of playing this Club World Cup in the summer, or would people prefer that we were at this, considering how much money is available and all of that? But are people in the chat, are you happy that we've kind of been that one off and we give ourselves a bit of a proper, because there's no big international tournament. We can have a decent summer. The guys can get a few weeks off and a proper preseason without this big, huge tournament in it. But it's a big, prestigious tournament with a lot of money involved. So, would people have preferred that we took up the invitation to that, or are they happy that we've turned it down? And to yourselves as well, obviously.
Mm-hmm. I would say I love trophies. I would love to add another trophy to the list, but considering that we have so many fixtures in this run that we've had even this year, I mean, we're still in 3 competitions technically. I don't want to continue to put more and more on the backs of these more weight on the backs of these players. I'd rather see us get a proper preseason, especially considering we're going to be doing some fine tuning of the squad most likely come the summertime. I'd rather see us do it in a preseason format than being in some summer tournament format where you have so much riding on it that you're probably playing players that you expect to start as opposed to playing players that you want to evaluate to see if they're worthy of staying with the team or moving on from, in my opinion.
Nalante, Lee, what do you think? You happy we bended or swerved it? Not bended off. We just swerved it, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I think we'll be good next season. I'm not too sad and glum about this season coming to its conclusion. So I think we'll be at the races again next season. As you said, 12, it'll be a totally different season, though, won't it? Next year's a different fight, but just enjoying this while it's here. This one while it's here. We're nearly
this Club World Cup thing. This one, the Club World Cup thing, the big tournament in the summer. Are you happy we've swerved that?
Yeah, big time. Yeah, big time. There's no need to go to that nonsense, this enlarged Club World Cup nonsense. There is no real need for it at the moment, I would say. They should have just kept it as it was. They had enough teams in it as it was. It's just more games, isn't it? It will be interesting to see what players get played at it, which players do and don't get played for the big teams that are at it. That's one thing I will have an eye on. I'll be more interested in that than the actual result of the tournament, if I'm honest.
100 million quid for the winner. Pretty much the same as you get for winning the Premier League.
A lot of money, innit? A lot of
money. A lot of money, as Silla would say.
Yeah, a lot of money, Silla, yeah.
Delante, you happy we swerved it, or would you rather?
Oh, I'm ecstatic. I'm glad we didn't enter that UEFA, FIFA again, burn out players, etc. tournament. I mean, and next year we can't go into it. We shouldn't anyway. The World Cup is next year, so yeah, I'm glad. 100 million, $1 billion, nah, no ways. Just more play burn up. Can you imagine sitting Gravenberg like till 15th of July, McAllister, Salah? Nah. It's not worth it. There's more things than that. So, for once, the club done a smart decision. Just say, let Chelsea and Max burn themselves out. Now, let the players enjoy the celebrations and rest. So, yeah, I'm ecstatic. Common sense prevails sometimes.
Okay. It's full time. Newcastle has won that game against West Ham. 1-0. Full time.
Yeah, good win. Good, decent win. 2 points behind in the race for the top 4 or 5. So yeah, they needed that. So yeah, that's good. We need Newcastle to build us something up, man, so we can put them back down to earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want Newcastle to make it hard in the closing games of the season for both Chelsea and City.
No, yeah, they're 47 points actually. They're tied with they're 6th place right now, but they're tied on points with Manchester City.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're giving them a bit of a. I mean, we were talking about the other. There's a bit of a get out of jail free card now with this 5th spot. You know,
how beautiful would it be? Conference League for Manchester City. Oh my gosh.
They'd have to drop too far, I think.
Oh, that'd be beautiful. Can you imagine Pep going to I don't even know some of the teams some city in East Czechoslovakia or something.
That's some of the teams in the early rounds of that. I mean, Chelsea are at the later stages now, and they've got FC Copenhagen, haven't they, in this latest side?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to win the Conference League. I'd be one of the laughing stocks if they don't. But I'm not bothered. But even the fans are not really mentioning, which I wouldn't be if we were in it. They're saying, you know.
That's not a European trophy. The competition
Exactly.
is not a European trophy. I'm sorry, they can
Not for
call it
them,
what
it's
they want,
not.
but it
West
ain't.
Ham it was. For West Ham it was because they never got any
Yeah.
in a month of Sundays. But for Chelsea, it's not really one, is it? They see themselves as European royalty, hilariously.
Hmm.
European royalty, which is false. There's only us in this country that can say that with a straight face. But,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I know it is. It is. It is. It is becoming a.
Yeah, well, I think we all know who's to blame for that, Anne. I mean Tracy. I mean Norm. I think we
Yeah.
all know who's to blame for that.
In the chat. Behave yourselves there in the chat. Some saucy stuff going in the messages. Behave.
yeah,
I don't want to have it. I don't want to have any mention of that name beginning with T.
Bella Emberg was Wonder Woman in Russ Abbott's Madhouse. She was this great big giant heavy lady. I won't say the horrible F word. And she used to wear like a Wonder Woman outfit. It was dead funny. Oh yeah, she did look a bit like Tracy Neville facially, actually. Bella Emberg.
Yeah, it looks like I'm trying to figure it out too because Villa and ourselves have both played 29 games. Villa sits on 45 points. We sit on 70 points. But everyone else is on 28 games played, being Bournemouth, even Fulham. You could consider Fulham to be in this race for top 4 as well, with 42 points. But
Which is hilarious, by the way.
yeah. But Bournemouth had 44 points, Brighton at 46 points, and then I said Newcastle and City at 47 points. At 49 points is Chelsea, and at 51 points is Forest, and Arsenal sit at 55 points.
You know what's crazy, 12 man? And I know this is more about like just how early we've wrapped things up and how strong we've been. As far as I know, the maths might be a tiny bit, but we could lose every game from now till the end of the season, and we'd still be guaranteed European football.
Oh, absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
how far ahead we are. That's how
Yeah.
early. Like nobody gets this far ahead. Now that sounds like yeah, whatever, but like to be guaranteed European football on basically the 8th of March,
Mm-hmm.
even if you lost every single game, that's not
Mm-hmm.
normal. That is not a
It's
normal
not.
position to be in.
It's not.
You know, that is how utterly kind of, this is looking like
We have what,
that
9 more
phrase I
games
hate.
left, right?
Yeah,
9 more
9.
games.
A farmers league. They're
Yeah.
talking about they call PSG a farmers league because they're 15 points ahead of, like we're 15, 20 ahead of Arsenal and Man City, the biggest clubs on the planet.
I'm
This
not saying we're
is
going to go
insane.
undefeated for the rest of the season, but if we were to go,
We won't go far off.
we have 9 games left in this season run. That would be if we were to get 3. If we were to win them all, that'd be 27 points. We'd be sitting on 97 points for the season. I still would like to see us get 90 points.
We'd only lose. We'll only lose games.
That's basically going. I'm sorry. That's basically going 7-2-1 or 7 wins, 2 losses and a draw in that matter. That 90 points assures us is an assured title, by the way, too. Arsenal cannot get 90 points, over 90 points. I don't think they can get over. They have 10 games left, so they can get the top that they can get is 85 points. The most they can make this year is 85 points. So 90 assurance. 90 is already an assured. We can do even more. We could have 6 wins. Obviously, what we were I think Norm's saying 4 wins. That's a win against Arsenal, gets us the victory. If Arsenal wins all of their games, and there's no assurance that they're going to win all their games. They still, after they After they get back, they host Chelsea. After they get back, they host Fulham. After they get back, they go to Everton. Those are 3 games. They're very difficult games for them. Even the Brentford game is going to be a difficult game for them, to be honest with you. Those 4 games that they have coming up, that 4-game run, they drop points in that. All of a sudden, it's looking rosier and rosier as it gets. So there's no guarantee they drop points in them, but I'm just saying, there's some games they're going to have to really figure out how to get their scoring boots on, because Everton's going to park the bus against them. They don't do extremely well at Goodison Park. They're fortunate to have 3 out of 4, 3 of their next 4 games are at home, in the Prem at least. But yeah, all the same. Good times for all that are Reds. We're already past the 2-hour mark, 10 minutes, 11 minutes past now. So I'm going to be bringing the train into the station or bring the Liverbird down onto the runway. Again, you want to say a shout before you do to the chat? A nice little group of people there. Still a nice collection of people in the chat too, by the way. Lee, do you want to say something to the people?
Yeah, I could do. Push my apple, shake my tree.
Okay.
Give it the old songs and that there. That and Russ Abbott's Atmosphere. Yeah, I'll end with that one tonight.
Okay. Okay. Do. Da. All right. Milante?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for another wonderful show. Big up, Toph. Big up, Bro. Big up, Lee. Look at you, wonderful people. Wonderful people, I see. Wonderful people of the chat. Bernie, Norm, all of you, wonderful people. And I just want to end like this. I can't have Lee taking all the shine. I really can't. Lee's taking enough shine tonight, yeah? Focus, people. Focus! Top of the league. Slot machine is here to stay. Top of the league. Will anyone get in the way? Mo with 2 pence. Southampton lose again. Liverpool will end the league season at the top when Big Ben strikes at 10. And at that note, ladies and gentlemen, arrivederci, sayonara, bonjour, and what Brian said for tomorrow in French. I forgot, but he'll say it in a minute. And I'll leave you guys with just 2 things. Splendid. And you gotta have faith. Oh, you gotta have faith. Faith. Oh, you gotta have faith. Good night.
Okay. That is definitely a difficult bar to that's difficult bar to overcome there, Brian. But any last words that you'd like to say too?
Nope.
No. Okay. All right. Wham. Definitely. Wham.
Come and
Boom.
dance every night to the hula melody.
Who knew it was Monday karaoke? Who knew? But all the same,
They got me going in the chat with that. Some of the songs are hilarious, like novelty songs. You can't beat a novelty song, can you?
no,
One that all the grannies can sing as well. Like.
All right, people. Enjoy your evenings. We will be again back for roll call tomorrow. It's a big game. Anfield under the lights. Please do join us. Tell a friend to join us as well. It'll be great. If you haven't hit the like, we appreciate it. And also be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when we're on. We do appreciate the fact that the people that join our chat, the ones that routinely join our chat, by the way, really do make the difference in our channel. So I appreciate it, and I definitely humbly say thank you, and also hope to see you again tomorrow. So until then, up the Reds as always, and definitely peace, and see you tomorrow. All right, take care, guys.